If you're a journalist, an aid worker, or really anyone who travels for work to what we'd call a high-risk area, you've almost certainly heard of HEAT. That's Hostile Environment Awareness Training. It's pretty much a rite of passage. But what if its entire foundation, the very idea it's built on, is based on a series of fatal assumptions? Let's dig in.
When you think of these courses, you probably picture some pretty intense scenes. Lots of shouting,
maybe some masked figures in balaclavas adding to the chaos.
You've got these high-stakes, dramatic scenarios, like a full-on kidnap reenactment out in the woods.
It all feels a bit like paramilitary training, right? Getting civilians ready for the absolute worst. It's a really powerful image.
And for the past couple of decades, this has been the standard. It's the mandatory training for anyone who's heading out there. It's sold as the ultimate essential prep course for surviving in the world's most dangerous places.
So how do they even build these courses? Well, a lot of the time, the curriculum is basically a grab bag of war stories and role-playing. It tends to be less about objective data and more about dramatic tales from instructors who have seen action in places like Syria or Iraq.
But here's where we take a sharp turn. This whole model, this entire industry, is apparently built on some really fundamental assumptions. And according to our source material, these assumptions, they just don't hold up in the real world.
You see, the problem isn't just about one specific course being flawed. The critique goes way deeper than that. It calls into question the very idea of a hostile environment as some kind of destination you travel to. So let's tackle the first big myth head-on, this idea that hostility and danger are tied to a specific geographical place, a pin on a map that you can either avoid or get special training for.
Let me throw a number at you, 30 kilometers. Statistically speaking, you are far, far more likely to face a life-threatening event, we're talking car crashes, violent crime, a house fire, within 30 kilometers of your own front door, not thousands of miles away.
So, you can see the disconnect, right? The HEAT premise is all about war zones. But where do predators and criminals actually do their work? Well, it's in the places we all go, every day. Tourist spots, bars, on public transport, and more online. Danger isn't a destination. It's usually a situation that finds you in what are supposed to be safe places.
Think about it. The survival skills that most of us are actually going to need aren't for escaping a kidnapping in some remote country. They're for dealing with these much more common threats. The real hostile environment could be your kitchen, your car, or even your email inbox.
All right, now for this second fatal assumption. This belief that a short, intense 3-day course can somehow turn an office worker into a seasoned survival expert.
The source points out some really serious issues with the structure of these programs. For one, they often lack any kind of legitimate educational framework. The content is built on subjective stories, not hard, verified data. And, it's worth noting, they are very often designed and delivered by a pretty narrow demographic, which can lead to a really limited Western-centric perspective on risk.
And this might be the most dangerous part of all. This kind of training doesn't just fail to prepare people, it can actually make them less safe. How? By creating a false sense of security. It can make graduates so overconfident that they take risks they never would have before, all because they think their weekend course made them invincible.
Because here's the thing, true readiness, real situational awareness, it isn't a certificate you hang on the wall. It's a mindset. It's a skill that you have to practice and sharpen over a lifetime, in your everyday routine. It's about constant, low-level awareness, not just a few days of high adrenaline drama.
So if that old model is broken, what's the alternative? What are we supposed to do? Well, the source suggests we need to completely reimagine what it even means to be ready for the world. Let's talk about real-world readiness. This isn't about flashy marketing or selling you a warlike adventure. It's a much more practical state of being prepared that starts with one simple but powerful idea. The biggest threats you face are probably right around the corner, not halfway across the globe.
So how do you get there? The source lays out a pretty clear 4-step approach. First, look before you leap. Do your homework on any training. Second, really qualify the content and the instructors. Are they teaching from data or just telling cool stories? Third, commit to awareness as a daily, lifelong habit. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And finally, get back to basics. What do you really need to know to survive the most probable dangers in your actual life?
And that really leaves us with one last critical question to think about. We spend so much time and energy preparing for these exotic, faraway dangers. But what if the most hostile environment you'll ever have to navigate
is the one you're in every single day. And are you truly prepared for that?